Welcome back, everybody. This is me, Kev, and today I want to talk about the Marseille. And what I want to discuss is that with Marseille, you really can't read it positionally like you can the Rider-Waite. You have to read it more along the lines of linear. So it's like Lenormand in a sense, right? You have a center card, you merit or you flank it to read the middle. And what really got me thinking about this, I got a book called Read Like the Devil. Now it's in my Kobo. I ordered the hardback book or paperback book. I haven't got it yet. Hopefully I'll get it real soon. But as I dive into that book more and look at the way she talks about it, it makes sense. Is that Marseille was really meant to be read linear. It wasn't meant to be read positionally because you really can't, you know? And when you think about that, let's just take this card, these two cards here, right? So here you have the Eight of Pentacles, right? Right? And what do you see? You see a pattern. You have a column, two columns of four, which gives you eight, and then rows of twos, and then single cards. And when you think about that, what do you see? You see that you have stability on both sides you're trying to have. Okay, so that means you have stability of some type, of something. And the eight is the engine that keeps driving forward. You have decisions to always be making to refine something. And then you also have possibilities that you have coming to you because you keep refining your craft over and over again, right? But the problem is the question I can't answer off one card. Whereas the Rider-Waite, I can. I can say, oh, well, based on the question, we are seeing that you're working on something and it's going to be great. You can use the colors, for example, the gray, you're using your wisdom as you refine your craft more and more, right? And then you become better at producing whatever it is that you do, right? What you manifest in the earthly realm. Now, the question that I was working on, so a friend of mine and I were talking a while ago, and it was around if this person that they're with is going to hurt them, right? And I didn't get into the details. Doesn't really matter, you know? And I thought about that because usually I would read with a Rider-Waite deck. And I'm thinking to myself, what if I read that with a Marseille deck, right? What would the difference be? And so I'm not going to even divulge into their reading at all. But this is kind of like a way of looking at Marseille with a question like that, right? So somebody came to you, would a person cause you problems or would a person try to mess you up, right? Something like that. And when you look at the Marseille across the board, what do you see? Now, again, the important thing too is you have to look at in Marseille the positions. How are they facing, right? What are they looking at? Then you want to look at how they're interacting with one another. You want to look at the center card. So you can see here the both justice, which is upside down, and you see the chariot both looking at that eight really heavily, okay? And when you think about that, what does that mean? Well, what that means is that justice is being corrupted. So when in a reversal with the Marseille, it can be delayed or it could be something that's in a very bad state, a corrupted state, right? So it's not really the opposite. It's more like just it's bad or dark energy, or it's like I said, it's a delayed energy of some type. And here you have the chariot looking too. So they're both looking at this thing that has to grow, or this thing you have to make decisions on to refine. So what are they refining? Will they hurt me? Well, they're refining malicious ways to win because justice is corrupt. So it's they're scheming, right? They're thinking ways of everything that you've known about them, how to win. That's what a judge does, right? Justice. How do you win? How do you win at what? My craft. What can I do to really hurt them? Okay, a scheme and a plan. And then the chariot says, "I'll do whatever it takes at any cost. It doesn't matter. Whatever it costs, I'm gonna win." So the answer is yes. They're gonna try to screw you up somehow. And I'm not gonna get into like physical. I don't know. I can't do that. Right? It's not what I do. I don't predict the future, but I can tell you from the cards that they're definitely scheming, and they want to win at any cost necessary. They're gonna use everything they have in their wheelhouse, whether it be money, people, connections, tools, whatever, to really take you down because they're just being malicious intent. Right? Now, when you think about that and read it like I did a Lenormand way, it makes a hell of a lot of sense because you can see how now the cards by themselves don't stand on their own, but the cards right in a line really could become clear because the center card is your theme of the read, and these are the modifiers, right? This is the way they're going to interact with that energy. Okay, so you have a corrupted version of justice interacting with that eight. you have the chariot interacting too. Now the problem is that he, she, whomever it might be, right? Whether it's the person or the other person, they could also lose, because with a chariot, if you study that kind of thing, when the chariot's not controlled properly, what happens? It rips apart. It just splinters into 1,000 pieces, right? It's like hitting a brick wall at like 50 miles an hour. It's just done. And with the chariot, because the horses are so powerful, you really don't have control over that internal will, right? You don't have control over that, then it's going to break. So everything you're scheming can also blow up in your face. So why the person might win, they're also in for a major, they're also looking at a major loss too, because they're being calculated and they're not doing something with good intention. So it could also backfire. But the point is, yeah, they're going to do something because they're idiots. They're a bunch of assholes, right? Now, excuse my language, right? But that's how I read. So then here, when you look at the Rider-Waite, what do you see? Well, it's different because the vibe, they're not really looking anywhere, looking straight ahead. So you can't pick that up. You can pick up like, yeah, justice is here. When you try to read it in a line, it's tough because how do you read that in a line? You need positions, past, present, future, right? Or what to let go, what to embrace, what the current energy is, or whatever the three spread might be, or a cross, or whatever. But the point is, the card is a picture. So almost when you think about the way Rider-Waite is created, it's more of an oracle deck. Because, yeah, it's tarot, but it's not tarot because it already has this predefined connotations of what a card means. And when you think about that, then that means that you're not really using your intuition. You're not really using what you see. You're using what people told you they mean. And that's the problem I have with Rider-Waite sometimes. I love it. I have probably 50, 60 decks. But as I'm getting more into Marseille, I feel like if I want to really, truly have a question answered and be explicit like Lenormand, it's the Marseille. There's no other way around it. If I want to be more like open-ended, it's the Rider-Waite. And so the systems are completely different. They're not even the same, and you can't even compare them to be the same. And even going back here, right, with the same kind of question, will this person hurt me? Well, they want justice. So you can read it like that, right? And the red, which means that they want to do whatever they can to take you down at any cost. So it doesn't matter what you do, they're going to bring you down. And how are they going to bring you down? With the tools that they have, with the craft they perfected. And the craft could be anything. It could be scheming, malicious behavior. It could be money. It could be using their friends. Whatever is in the materialized world, they're going to use it to get what they want, to get their way. And the outcome, potential, remember, it's Rider-Waite, is perceived victory. But here's the kicker, right? Even though it may be perceived victory, what do you see on top of the card? You see a 7. And what does a 7 mean? What does a 7 mean? Well, people will say it means observation. It means to analyze something. And you do analyze. You're trying to win. You try to get one on people, right? One over on them. You analyze. But also 7 corrupted is what? Because remember, just as we reversed, even though I'm showing it upright, is secrets hidden, or secrets distorted, or truth distorted, or truth hidden, something like that. And so when you think about that, they can win, but also can come back and backfire them. So you kind of got the same reading per se, but not really, because the Rider-Waite leaves so much to interpretation, so much open to the imagination per se, whereas the Marseille is just direct. It's saying to you, look, justice is looking at that 8 of Pentacles, period, right? It's upside down. It's corrupted justice. I mean, it wants to really get one over on you, no matter what the cost is, okay? Then it's the Chariot's also looking at that and saying, I'm going to use whatever I can, whatever is in my power that I have in my whatever repertoire, I'm going to use it to destroy you. Do you see the difference in the energy in that? That and it's exact same cards, but how you read it completely changes the narrative between the Rider-Waite and the Marseille. Marseille is on the money, to the point, like Lenormand, yes or no. So you want to do a yes or no question, you need to go to Marseille. If you want to do more open-ended questions and kind of get the overall vibe, scheme of something, you're going to go with Rider-Waite. And that's how you kind of look at the two. Even for me, going forward, as I think about it more, I'm going to be using, if people want readings, where it's more kind of a yes-no type of a thing, I'm going to dive more into Marseille, but I won't be using spreads as in crosses, as in Celtic crosses or whatever, I'm going to be using 3, 5, 7 line lines, 3, 5, 7 line, period, and read it literally in a linear fashion. All right. And that's how I think it works. Kind of like my Lenormand too. When I read Lenormand, you watch me on the channel here. How do I read it? I read it in 3, 5, or 7 line, right? Or you do a top and bottom line, same kind of a thing. I could probably do the exact same thing with the Marseille Tarot, or read it as a box spread. But I'm gonna pick a spread to be a box because I can still use it where, let's say you had a box, right? And you're trying to submission, for lack of better terms, or they're going to use their whatever they have, their 8 to what? The moon reversed, right? To make you always afraid, to make you always thinking twice, looking behind your back, and making you think their truth is the reality. You see how that works? When you start pairing with the Marseille, it's a completely different vibe. And then here, what are they going to do? They're going to force a change on you, whether you like it or not. So they're going to change your worldly possessions, the things that you have, things that maybe you built, or things that you have gained over time, and destroy it on you. They're going to change it, right? They're going to change it. And look, too, they're going to cut into what you have, right? You see that? They're going to cut into what you have because the death is looking into the pentacles. And that's why I think the Marseille is so powerful, because when you start looking at the positions of the cards and how they look at one another, it really opens it up. Even here, right? Look at this card here. We have the, what is this one? The Page of Swords. And when you look at the cards together, he's on top looking down, but he's looking into it. Same thing, right? So he's going to use malicious wisdom. He's going to use malicious insights to tear you down. He or she, whatever, but to tear you down. And so I think that this is how, me personally, if I'm going forward, I'm reading Marseille like this. Box spread, 3 line, 5 line, 7. And I want to get your opinion on this. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? I'd be curious to hear. Have you read that book, Read Like the Devil? Yeah, if you haven't, I'd highly recommend it, because it's going to change the way you visualize Marseille. It's going to change the way you actually view it going forward, because it's going to rock your world. I'm telling you right now, it's a hell of a book, and it's really worth the read if you like Marseille, because you start looking at patterns. Also, too, you could look at the way the numbers are. Are they increasing or are they decreasing? Because if it's going increase, then that means it's going to get worse, heavier, right? If it's decreasing, it's going to get a little better. And so that's the video that I have today, the little thing I want to share with you, because it's been on my mind a lot lately, and I've been really diving heavily into the Marseille, and I think it's my new love, man. I mean, I tell you, it's just a beautiful way to read tarot. And even when you think about it, you could pair it so beautifully with Lenormand, right? So let's say you're doing a spread for somebody. We'll go back to this one here, and you want to get a little more clarification or whatever. And you got the 3 cards laid out, and you say, well, will they hurt me? Well, here we're saying, yeah, right? That's what we're seeing here. And then you go, well, let's just pick some cards here, pop in that card there, this and that. Well, the theme, see, again, you go with theme in the center. The theme is, yeah, they want to be very toxic. They want to poison you however they can. They want to just destroy your world. They want to destroy your narratives. They want to destroy everything about you. They want to take you down. How? They want to change your world. Everything that you once loved moves away from you, and the change becomes toxic now, because as they strip away everything that you have, what happens? You don't have a lot, so you have to now move on a shoestring. So all that stuff you built, is they want to take it away. They want to ship it off. What does a ship do? It ships off your gold, ships off everything that you own. And then that toxic behavior then becomes their gift, because now everything that you owned, they have. It's the flower, right? It's also a broken gift. It's like they're so vile that everything they give you comes with strings attached. And those gifts move, they leave, right? Flanking, you're marrying again. So that is one way you can also read it too. If you want to incorporate the two systems, which I do all the time, I think it's powerful because it gives you a deeper insight. Also, what you could do too, and I used to notice this, just throwing these cards down. That's a 3, that's a 7, that's a 7. Okay, and so 7, like I said, what I say about 7 earlier, toxic, right? I said that it could be corrupted truth, hidden truths, or secrets not being revealed, something like that. It's not analyzing, it's being deceptive with the 7. Viper's on the 7. I didn't even realize that until just now. I looked at this real quick. And you have a 10, 19. What is 19? It's a 10. It's a vicious cycle unless you can break it. So you got to beat them at their own game, right? Anyway, that's one way to read it. That's all I have. And if you did enjoy this this tutorial, let me know. I'll do more of them. I know some people have asked, so thank you. I heard, and I'll be doing more of it. But if this is something you really do like, even to see readings being done with the Marseille, let me know. And if there's a certain reading that you want me to do on the channel, let's say there's a topic that you like, or there's a topic that's kind of on your heart or on your mind, that's collective, right? So it's for everybody, not just one person. It's for everybody. Like, let's say you want something in the political realm or the culture realm, or just like, hey, about work or whatever, let me know. And maybe I'll do a reading. Just pop it on here and we all can enjoy it together and learn and just grow as tarot practitioners. All right. Well, that's all I got. And if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, head over to wordswithatwist.com and subscribe. It's free and you will keep up to date with what I'm doing. All right. Until next time, I want to see you in my next reading, tutorial, or whatever I do. All right. Bye, everybody. See ya.